do the work, or are we going to sit back and then watch them deteriorate even more and be life without the sales tax, without the transportation tax? We are a funny people in the South. We don't like public transportation for whatever reason.
Yeah.
We don't have it built in so we would learn to like it as well as other cities. And we don't like to see you build anything new. We just went through all the years of arguments back and forth about 526.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has an opinion, but the fact remains that there's not less of us here. They're building more and more apartment complexes. They're building more and more housing subdivisions. And a lot of people are finding us that, hey, you don't have to move all the way to Florida to retire. This is a nice place. Charleston's beautiful. We have beaches. We have cultural events in Charleston and North Charleston at the art centers and symphonies and, you know, playhouses, whether it be the Footlight Players or Dock Street Theater. So folks are discovering Charleston more and more.
It's supposed to be one of the best stops for vacation than any other in the world.
Yeah, we got that advertisement, so that's going to bring more people.
That's the point.
So
it's going to bring more people.
So the more
people, roads, more infrastructure.
Right. The more people we bring in, you have to be able to handle them, and you have to be able to move them from point A to point B, whether that's from the airport to downtown, or the airport to Folly Beach, or the airport to Isle of Palms. You have to have a road system in place to be able to move them around, because, you know, we don't have light rail, and we don't have subways, which we couldn't build in the low country anyway, probably. But so we have to use what we have, and that's kind of where we are. So when you think about transportation tax, and it's a half a penny, that doesn't seem like a whole lot, and it's really not a whole lot to some of us. To others, it might be a bunch. But you have to, again, you have to prove to the people that you're a good steward of their money, and maybe that money could grow, and maybe the other taxes, as you mentioned, go from 16, 18 cent to 20 cent, and it's a usage tax, and it depends on how much you use as to how much tax you pay.
Do you think that in the future we will see residents, because, you know, our population is changing quite a bit too. The Southerners are very much a part of our communities, but so are those who are coming from North and South and Canada and other places with new ideas and new ways of doing things. So there's a greater mix these days than there probably ever has been in the South, especially in South Carolina. Will that kind of change bring along with it a group of people who would not see it a problem to raise the sales tax?
Well,
changing population, changing ideas.
I'll discuss or give you a point of view for a microcosm of your question. There's a lot of Southerners who live at Kiowa and Seabrook, but there's a lot of other people who've moved in there, and they found that place to be the place they wanted to retire. But you see a lot more push for the Johns Island Expressway. Now, they've been talking about that since I lived on Johns Island, and it's
been quite a while.
That was 20 years ago. And, you know, those people don't see a problem in putting in a toll bridge or a toll roadway, because, like you said, they were kind of used to that kind of stuff where they came from. But just see all the pushback, you know, as the ideas come in. So yes, I think as more and more people who get here, and as the new generations come along, you'll see other ideas. I mean, just imagine if you could hop on a light rail train in Somerville or Goose Creek or Moncks Corner, and 30 minutes later be at a job in downtown Charleston. Why would you get in the car and drive?
Yeah.
You know, so that's the kind of things that we have to. You have to sell it to the people, and then.
And we're anti-tax.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. Even if it's, usually if it's the schools, we seem to do a little bit better there, and that's because children are involved, I would think. But it seems like we have a future that may be a little cloudy, because few are willing legislators to step up to the bat, politicians, and say, listen, it hurts, but we got to do this. The time has come for something, whether it's from the federal government as a grant, or if it's local sales tax, or even getting the other half penny. What would be your preference?
I don't like taxes either. But again, if we as politicians can prove to our constituents that we're good stewards of their money, I believe maybe another half-cent sales tax, or going from a half cent to a penny on gasoline, might be an option. At least step number one.
Now, is that on gasoline,
Well,
which is now 16 cents, or would it be on the sales tax that the county administers?
well,
That's a half a penny.
it's the sales tax.
Yes.
Excuse me. Sorry about that. The half a penny. Just take it from a half a cent to 1 cent. But that's step one, the baby step that shows, okay, you give me your trust to use this money, and I'm going to prove to you that I'm going to use it correctly, and I'm going to use it to your benefit. And again, once you build that, then I believe you can look for the other alternatives. Of course, you can be looking the whole time as you're building that trust, but we got to prove that we're going to do what we say we're going to do, and do it.
Well, it's going to be an interesting future, and I'd like to say so much how we enjoyed you so much being a part of our program. You're very direct, and you certainly are well read on these subjects, and I hope that we can meet again, and perhaps we'll have something different that's going on that will help our citizens. And I'm sure that the folks from the Transportation Sales Tax Program are very glad that you're happy with the work that they're doing here. And I know you'll get your bids in for the next allocation somewhere in the future.
Yeah, we keep plugging away every year trying to get the next one in line.
I hear you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you the next time. I hope that you've enjoyed the program as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. We have on the screen right now some information about getting in touch with the mayor if you have questions for him or comments, and I'm sure he would be willing to communicate with you on those things. So until the next time, this is Cheryl Harleston with the Transportation Sales Tax Program, also known as RoadWise. For more information, visit us on tst.charlestoncounty.org. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter.